Thanks, Jeff. I appreciate the range.
Sy die mannetjie so sagkens hanteer.
I'm Simon Joseph, the next speaker.
Morning, everyone. Morning, speaker. Audible test for me, please.
Yes, I can hear you.
Thank you, speaker.
Good morning, speaker and everyone. Just a mic test.
Here you, Councillor.
I thank you.
Councillor Carolus, can you put your microphone off, please? All right, Mayor. Good morning, everybody.
Good morning, Speaker.
The time now is 9 o'clock exactly. May I ask Councillor America to open and pray for us, please?
Let us pray. Almighty and eternal God, you restore us to life by the triumphant death and resurrection and ascension of Christ. Continue the healing work within us and grant that we who participate in this mystery may never cease to give dedicated service. We ask this in Jesus Christ's name. Amen.
Thank you very much. Could we start with the roll call, please?
Morning, Speaker. Morning, everybody. Councillor Adams.
Morning, everyone. From a cold Cornwall, I am present.
Councillor America.
Good morning, everybody present. Thank you.
Councillor Barnard.
Good morning, present.
Councillor Brown.
Morning, Rosemary, present.
Councillor Carolus.
Good morning, present.
Councillor Clark.
Present, good morning.
Councillor Cronier.
Present.
Councillor Dutoy.
Teenwoordig, Rosemary.
Councillor Esau. Councillor Edie Vigland.
Present and Rose, good morning.
Councillor R.J. Vigland.
Present, good morning.
Councillor Fry. Alderman Gericke.
Erica is ill.
Councillor Gom.
Alderman we can't hear you. Alderman Gericke is ill today, Rosemary. You are not plausible. I can't hear you at all.
Thank you. Councillor Gom.
Present. Good morning, councillors and directors.
Councillor Greer.
Goeiemôre, Rosemary teenwoordig.
Councillor Gultig.
Councillor.
Good morning, everyone. Councillor Gultig present. Thank you.
Councillor Hani. Councillor Jansen.
Goeiemôre teenwoordig.
Councillor Jantjies.
Very good day, madam.
Councillor Johnson.
Good morning, I'm present.
Alderman Kritzinger.
Good morning, Ms. President, colleagues. I'm present, thank you.
Councillor Kruger.
Good morning, I'm present.
Councillor Lento. Councillor Lose.
Good morning, everyone. Losa is present.
Councillor Lau.
Good morning, everybody present.
Councillor Mantrele. Councillor Masase.
Good morning, everybody. I am present.
Councillor Mbete.
Morning, Barros. Morning, everyone. I'm present.
Councillor Itim Daka.
Themba lethu exhwalekileyo engakhathalelekanga ndikhona present, ma'am. Thank you.
Councillor Itim Daka. Councillor Mrukuli. Councillor Ngameli. Councillor Neethling.
Ek is hier, dankie.
Councillor Niaus, Councillor Ntondini,
Councillor Ndonini present.
Councillor Peterson,
Morning, Rosemary present.
Alderman Petrus,
Sorry, Rosemary, can I just... Councillors, could I please ask all the councillors to make sure that their microphones are turned off unless they're being spoken to, and also to put headphones on so that they are not echoing in the different areas, please. Thank you.
Sorry, man, Roslyn. All the ANC councillors were in the same place, but you are using the phone of laptop of my mother.
Councillor Katana,
Morning, Rose. I'm present.
Councillor Kampi,
Morning, President Maros.
Councillor Rusa, Councillor Cyphers,
Present, Rosemary, goeiemorgen.
Councillor Summers,
Summers present.
Councillor Smart,
Councillor
Councillor
Smart,
Smith.
Councillor Smart
Sorry.
has been booked off for today, sorry, and I am present, thank you.
Yeah. Councillor Toto, Alderman Van der Kerk,
Good morning, I'm present.
Alderman Van Wyk,
Good morning, I'm present. Thank you.
Councillor von Brandes,
Good morning, Rosemary. I'm present.
Councillor Forster,
Good morning. I'm present.
Councillor Wessels,
I'm present, Rosemary, thanks.
Councillor Windwai.
Good morning, Rosemary. I'm present.
Thank you, Speaker.
Thank you, councillors, and I trust the YouTube link is on, so I'm going to welcome the public to the meeting as well as all the administration. And I would like to take this opportunity to welcome our new councillor, Councillor Forster. I'm going to start off with the meetings, and point number 2 is the mayoral address. There is no mayoral address. And we've done the applications for leave. Please, Chief Whip, can we do that, please?
Thank you very much, Speaker. Speaker, as indicated, I have an apology from Councillor Toto, who is ill, Councillor Smart, who is ill, and Councillor Gericke, who is ill. Thank you, Chair. Thank you, Speaker.
And anyone from the administration side,
Speaker, yes, Mr. Buchlenberg is busy on a site visit this morning with the National Department of Transport. He's tendered his apologies. Thank you.
Thank you very much. We're moving on to item number 4, disclosure of interest by councillors. Item 6 of the Code of Conduct for councillors and disclosure of benefits by municipal staff members. Item 5 of the Code of Conduct for council municipal staff members. We have one hand up. Councillor Viljoen, your hand is up.
Thank you very much, Speaker. I just need to declare that I'm concerned in one of the items, that's 11.4, and I'd like to put that on record. Thank you.
So noted, Councillor. Are there any other declarations, please, before we move on? I take it none. I'm going to move on. The next item on this agenda is the confirmation of the minutes of the previous meetings. Item 5.1, minutes of the special e-council meeting held on the 20th of April. Do we have is that noted? Do we have a proposer for that?
I'll
Councillor Johnson propose. Johnson second.
Okay, that's Councillor Nettling proposes and Councillor Johnson second. Item 5.2, minutes of the ordinary council meeting held on the 26th of April. Do we have a proposer?
Basil Petrus.
America.
Councillor Basil Petrus proposes and Councillor America seconds. Thank you very much. Item 6, I believe the item has been withdrawn. We have no further questions there. Sorry. We move on to item 7, minutes of the Executive Mail-in Committee. Do we have a proposer for that?
Petrus, propose again, Speaker.
Okay,
I second,
Peter.
Speaker.
Okay, so noted. Thank you very much. And item 7.2, the Special Executive Mail-in Committee meeting held on 25th of April. Do we note that?
Yes,
Arnold will
Speaker.
note.
Thank you very much. Councillors, before I continue, I have to make just make a ruling. The ANC councillors have made a notification that all the councillors are on one computer. I have to make known that the rules of order state clearly that every councillor must be on his own device. With all the councillors being on one device, it makes it very difficult to maintain order. Therefore, I am going to make a ruling that if you are going to be on one device, that all councillors in that on that device will be held responsible for the activities and the discipline on that device. Therefore, an injury to one is an injury to all, and therefore any breach of the rule of order on that computer will therefore eliminate the entire ANC for that ruling. Thank you very much. I'm going to move on to item 8. Item 8 is reports to the Mail Committee on the 11th of May. Item 8.1 is the final approval of the updated integrated waste management bylaw for George Municipality. The councillor to speak on that is Councillor Suffers. You have 3 minutes.
Good morning, Speaker. Thank you for this opportunity. Speaker, this is about the integrated waste management bylaw. This is for Council to consider the final adoption of the updated integrated waste management bylaw. It is in line with the National Environmental Waste Management Waste Act of 2008. It was published in the media and on different platforms for public comments in terms of the section 12 3B. The previous waste management bylaw was outdated and not in line with the National Management Waste Act of 2008. Therefore, Speaker, the recommendation is on page 126. I propose that the final updated integrated waste management bylaw be adopted by Council in terms of section 12 of the Municipal Systems Act of 32 of 2000. That the final integrated waste management bylaw be proclaimed in the Provincial Gazette as soon as possible. Therefore, I propose, Speaker. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Councillor. The next person to speak on this item is the ANC. You have 2 minutes, please. Councillor Gom, your time starts now, please.
Thank you, Speaker. We as the ANC, we adopted this bylaw because it's aligned with the National Environmental Bylaw. And also, Speaker, this bylaw must not look to certain people. It must be fair to all citizens of George. Thank you, Speaker.
Thank you very much. The next person to speak on this item is the EFF, the Councillor Kampi. You have 1 minute, please.
Thank you, Speaker. We as the EFF, we adopt this bylaw because to keep clean and to keep green is part of our promise as George Municipality. And we also want to applaud the EFF for motivating the George Municipality that is led by the DA and the coalition, that they must know that it's only not George town must be clean and green. It's George, all the George, including our poor of the poorest communities, must be clean. And we see that you are even following that by us keeping pressure on you, the coalition. Thank you, Speaker.
Thank you very much. The last person to speak on this item is Councillor Brown. You have 1 minute, please.
Thank you, Morning Speaker. I just want to support the recommendation made by my colleague, Councillor Cyphers. Thank you.
Thank you very much. This item therefore carries. The next item on the agenda is item 8.2, the illegal structure on the Cat River Bank, ERF 221 George, adjacent to ERF 8499 George. The first person to speak on this item is Councillor Wessels. You have 3 minutes, please.
Thank you very much, Speaker. Speaker, as a responsible government, we take encroachment into our green spaces in a very serious light. And as a city, we are proud of our green and open spaces, as this is what's making George a unique city. I want to thank the department for consistently working on this case, as well as ensuring that we keep all catchment areas safe, that we counter the effects of erosion, and that we clamp down on all activities that can offer danger to our green spaces. With that, I'm pleased to propose the recommendation on page 162 and 163, and that's points A to D. Thank you very much, Speaker.
Thank you very much, Councillor. The next person to speak on this item is Councillor Mankele. You have 2 minutes.
Manbulise, Speaker. ANC siyayiphasa lento yoba lo muntu walwamhlaba makafumane la portion by temporarily angayifumani isigcina because siyibonile ukuthi ayizukwazi ukuba ingaservice okulanda ikuyo kuba ke ingumuntu wefamily, so angabe ehlala not for isigcina because indawo ahlala kuyo iyabonakala ba indawo ingahlala umuntu for i-permanent. Enkosi.
Thank you, Mr. Paulus. Would you translate for us, please?
Thank you, Speaker. Good morning, councillors. We as the NC, we are in support of this item. Yes, we support that the person should reside in this portion of land temporarily, because we see that he is a family man. Therefore, he can reside, but only temporarily, not on permanent basis. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you very much. The next person to speak on this item is Councillor Fry. You have 1 minute, please. Councillor Fry, you have 1 minute. Councillor Viljoen.
I second the recommendation made by my colleague, Councillor Wessels. Thank you, Chair, Speaker.
Thank you very much. This item therefore carries. The next item on the agenda is item 8.3, the rectification of a council resolution taken on an application to purchase ERF 3363 George and a portion of the remainder of ERF 9077 George, situated in Langenhoven Street next to ERF 674 George. The first person to speak on this item is Councillor Wessels. You have 2 minutes, please.
Thank you very much, Speaker. Yes, Speaker, as per the item description, this is a straightforward item and deals with a rectification of a council resolution that speaks to wrong earth numbers that pulled through in the resolution taken by council in March 2022. Speaker, this has already been advertised with no public input or representations being received. So with that, I would like to propose the recommendation. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Councillor. The next person to speak on this item is Councillor F. Mdaka. You have 2 minutes, please. Councillor F. Mdaka. ANC, is there somebody that's going to talk? Can we move on, please? I'm going to move.
We are still waiting for Councillor Mdaka because she's not with us.
Okay, then I'm going to move on. Thank you, Councillor. The next person to speak on this item is Councillor Fichland. You have 1 minute, please.
Thank you, Speaker. I second the proposal made by Councillor Wessels.
Thank you, anyone.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Councillors, Councillor. Councillor Suffers, your microphone is on. Thank you. Ons waardeer dit almal. Dankie. That item is therefore carried. We're going to move on to the next item, please. Item 8.4. That's the draft George Municipality Town Planning Policy on base telecommunication station infrastructure. The first person to speak on this item is Councillor Wessels. Councillor Wessels, you have 3 minutes.
Thank you very much, Speaker. Base telecommunication station infrastructure speaks to towers, masts, poles, and structures accommodating telecommunication equipment. As communication technology improves, so does the increased demand for such facilities in a city like George, especially with a significant growth that we are experiencing. This is served in front of the Section 80 committee and was deliberated. The committee was happy with the focus areas of the policy, and that can be found on page 188, and that's points A to J. So with that, I would like to propose the recommendation as per the agenda, and that's on page 119, A to C. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Councillor. The next person to speak on this item is Councillor Toto, and you have 3 minutes, please.
Sorry to interrupt, Speaker. Councillor Toto is ill.
Okay, I'm going to ask the answer if there is somebody, based on the fact that he is ill, if somebody else is going to talk on his behalf. If not, I'm going to move on to the next councillor. ANC, I'm giving you one last chance. Is anyone going?
Speaker, good morning. Councillor Isoe, you may proceed.
Thank you very much. The next person to speak on this item is Councillor Tampi. You have 1 minute, please.
Thank you, Speaker. Speaker, we as the EFF, we are supporting the resolution and the recommendation made by the leading party. But what we have in concern, or what we want to give as an input, is that as long as the land audit are being done thoroughly and environmental inspections are being done, because what we fear is that we don't want, when projects have to now start to take place and operating, we find out there are issues that are prohibiting the project to proceed. So if those things are being in order, then we are safe. Thank you, Speaker.
Thank you very much, Councillor. The next person to speak on this item is Councillor Adams. You have 1 minute.
Thank you, Speaker. George is growing into a bustling and to a big city. So I want to second the proposal made by my colleague, Councillor Dirk Wessels. Thank you.
Thank you very much, councillors. That item therefore carries. Sorry, we're moving on to item 9. And that is the minutes of the Municipal Public Accounts Committee, MPAC. And that's for information. There's nothing received. We're moving on to item 10, reports to Municipal Public Accounts Committee. Item 10.1 has been referred back to MPAC. We'll move back to on with item 10.2, irregular and fruitless and wasteful expenditure disclosed in 2021-22 annual financial statements for the year ended 30 June 2022 and related expenditure in 2021 and 22 financial year. The first person to speak on this is Councillor Du Toit. You have 3 minutes, please.
Thank you very much, Speaker. Speaker, yes, indeed, the irregular and fruitless and wasteful expenditure disclosed in the annual report of 2021-22. MPAC worked through these items here, and as we can see, the AGSA audited it, and the municipality got value for money. They suffered no loss, and the service that was rendered was good. So we accept this, and I want to propose, but there's one thing, Speaker, that concerns us. That is on page 275,
and 276. That is the interest paid to workmen's compensation of 350,855 rand, and another one for 21-22, 377,793 rand, boils down to 728,000 rand, 648 rand. That was a great concern for Impact, and that must be further investigated. So I want to propose, as recommended on page 277, I'll read it for you, that certify the following irregular expenditure and be certified as irrecoverable, as George Municipality did receive value for money, did not suffer any loss, and that the amounts contained in the table below therefore be written off. And then the B part, I want to make a amended proposal on the B part. The B part says that the fruitless and wasteful expenditure be further investigated. Then I want to add, by the Financial Misconduct Disciplinary Board. And that is my proposal. Thank you, Speaker. I'll put the amendment in the chat box.
Thank you very much. And don't forget to get somebody to second that, please. The next person to speak on that item is Councillor Masase. Councillor Masase, you have 3 minutes, please.
Thank you very much, Speaker. Speaker, we take note of the item before us and also take note of the recommendations thereunder. Speaker, it will never be a good thing to have irregular and fruitless and wasteful expenditure for any institution, including our municipality. We take note that the municipality has at all times liaised with the Auditor General regarding these matters of irregular and fruitless and wasteful expenditure, and that there was consensus at the end of the consultations. Municipal funds must be respected and dealt with accordingly at all times. Whenever there is a need to prepare a deviation, it must be done, as those are the rules of the game. Even though some of the reasons provided for lack of deviation being recorded can be justified, we ought to get into the habit of working hard to avoid missing this opportunity. We understand that at some occasions it may happen that the municipality receives grant funding from national and provincial treasuries, and that the conditions for these grants may often be that funds need to be spent within a short time frame or else lose the funding, and therefore making it difficult for the municipality to follow the correct supply chain management processes, such as in the case of the agreement with 8 tenderers for road rehabilitation, resurfacing, and ancillary works, which was awarded for a period of 3 years. However, Speaker, we are still feeling strongly that our officials need to stick to the rules as best as they possibly can. Another concern is that of the perception that may be created when there appears to be no regard for competitive procurement processes, such as the case of the awarded tender for upgrading of the Outeniqua water treatment works. It can be seen that there was authorized transactions that took place, which were not part of the original scope. Be that as it may, we do realize the importance of securing our municipal assets against acts like vandalism and theft. We agree with the workmen compensation. We agree with the recommendation, rather, that the item regarding the interest paid to workmen compensation be further investigated. According to the item, there was a period of 2 to 3 years where the assessments were not submitted by the Corporate Services Directorate, and as a result, interest and penalties was raised on these outstanding assessments. Unfortunately, this is not acceptable, and we have to do better in future. Speaker, we would like to ask that in future, we need to align as a municipality our understanding of irregular and fruitless and wasteful expenditure with that of the Auditor General, and that we do things the right way. We would also like to see proper supply chain management processes being followed at all times. Thank you, Speaker.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. The next person to speak on this item is Councillor Peterson. You have 2 minutes.
Mr. Speaker, this item relates to irregular, fruitless and wasteful expenditure. Section 32 of the MFMA is clear about the process that must be followed when irregular, fruitless and wasteful expenditure occurs. This is not the first time that Council has to deal with items relating to this. In most of the items about fruitless, wasteful and irregular expenditure, There is always a line stating that the breach of controls has been addressed. We must be man enough to address the letter of the law when these things happen in the administration. We as council cannot come and rubber stamp the illegal actions of the administration. When this happens, this will make us as council just as guilty of these actions. It is astonishing that an over-expenditure of more than 10 million rand can happen, and when the AG raised findings that this expenditure did not go through the correct approval procedures, the management strongly disagreed. Was the agreement coupled to the fact that it might impact on a clean audit? There are contracts, tenders that have expired that is not reported here as irregular, wasteful and fruitless expenditure. One such contract is the management of a prepaid vending system that has been ongoing since 2012. A question about this was raised in the last council meeting. We cannot be party to illegal practices, and when findings are made, it is expected of us to let it slide. We therefore also support the proposal that a full investigation must be done to the illegal, to the fruitless and wasteful expenditure that occurs in the municipality. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor. The last person to speak on this item is Councillor Brown. You have 1 minute.
Thank you, Speaker. I support the amended recommendation made by my colleague, Councillor Du Toit. Thanks, Speaker.
Thank you very much, councillors. That then carries as per the amended recommendation then. The next item on the agenda is item 10.3, the Impact Inquiry Register, April 2023 update. Councillor Du Toit, you have 2 minutes.
Thank you very much, Speaker, for this opportunity again. Speaker, I want to commend our internal audit auditor, JP Rousseau, Mr. JP Rousseau, for getting us this impact inquiry register and implement it and keep it up to date. Because this register, we've discussed that we'll do this at impact so that there are no items that fell through the cracks, and and we're not looking after it. So there's nothing that's coming to impact that can disappear from impact. So everything is there. And this is just the impact inquiry register update for this, and it's just to take on note of that. I want to propose the recommendation on page 281. A, that the inquiry register and management's response here to be noted, and B, that the inquiry register be tabled to impact on a quarterly basis. Thank you, Speaker.
Thank you very much, Councillor. The next person to speak on this item is Councillor Masase. You have 1 minute, please.
Thank you, Speaker. Speaker, we take note of the item before us and the recommendations thereof. We are very happy to see that this inquiry register exists and strongly believe that it is a good tool for the municipality to use to ensure that concerns are recorded and dealt with. We take note that some of the inquiries have already been looked into and that they have been dealt with. It is our desire to see that all matters come to a closure and that feedback must be provided to the people who made the inquiries. As a municipality, we need to always ensure that the answers given for the inquiries needs to be just and fair, and that they must be truthful and helpful. Speaker, we take note of this register. I thank you.
Thank you very much, Councillor. The next person to speak on this item is Councillor Fry. Councillor Fry, you have 1 minute.
Hi there, Speaker. I will second that.
Thank you very much, Maya. The item is therefore seconded and therefore carries with the recommendations. We therefore move on to item 10.4, the internal audit report to impact, January-March 2023. The first person to speak on this item is Councillor Du Toit. Councillor Du Toit, you have 3 minutes.
Thank you very much, Speaker. Speaker, the internal audit report to impact. Let me just. I've got now fall on my cell phone. Sorry, Speaker. Speaker, the internal audit report to impact on January to March 2023. Now, in terms of the X 79A 3B of the Local Government Municipal Structures Act, Amended Act to 2021, the impact must review internal audit report together with comments for the Management Committee and the Audit Committee and make recommendations to Council. And then further, the internal audit report is aligned to recommendations of the local government MFMA Circular 65 and includes the inter alia of the following. And you've got the following on page 288, 126. Now, Speaker, Impact have gone through this report and we are satisfied with it. So I want to propose the recommendation on page 289A that the internal audit report together with the comments of the audit committee and management be noted, and B, that the recommended actions be implemented by management with the agreed upon time phrase. I thank you, Speaker.
Thank you very much, Councillor. The next person to speak on this item is Councillor Masase. You have 1 minute, please.
Thank you, Speaker. We take note of this internal audit report to MPEG for January to March. The work of the internal audit team is important as it is supposed to provide an independent and unbiased opinion about the state of affairs of the municipality. We take note and welcome the work that has been put in to ensure that final reports are issued. But we also take note that there is ongoing work that is yet to be completed. We urge the municipality to work hard in ensuring that the outstanding work and reports be reprioritized and completed, in particular those that fall under Financial Services Directorate and Corporate Services. Speaker, we take note of the report and agree that the recommended actions be implemented by management within the agreed upon timeframes. Thank you, Speaker.
Thank you very much, Councillor. The next person to speak on this item is Councillor Peterson.
Speaker, the internal audit report to MPEG refers the item serving before us today has got a lot of risks that needs to be investigated. We as the PBI take note that contract management is one of the items in the financial section that will be investigated. We do, however, hope that the investigation will be thorough and that a comprehensive report will be brought to Council for consideration. We cannot be party to illegal actions that is detrimental to service delivery at large. We also note that the tariff listing is listed as an item to be investigated. We do hope that the illegal implementation of tariffs above the threshold for 2021-2022 will also be investigated and that the responsible officials will be brought to book. Mr. Speaker, we cannot in this day and age place a huge financial burden on consumers with huge increases on tariffs and expect the public to be silent about this. The raising of tariffs must be open, fair and transparent, and a public participation process must be followed if the contrary happens. Tariffs must also be economical, effective and efficient to enhance service delivery. MPEG and internal audit must have the necessary leeway to function properly when investigating these instances. Thank you.
Councillors, we've just received a fire alarm in the main building. Could we please ask that this meeting be adjourned for, I will notify everyone via WhatsApp when we can resume. We need to evacuate the building, the main building immediately. So please, this meeting is now adjourned and I will inform everybody via WhatsApp. Thank you very much.
Guten. Imagine, come on, vacuum. Aibo, kwenza ngentoni?
Abulele dad, vuka buthongweni.
Nginomntana nje vela kwabhukisa i-date yami kodwa chaza kwenza ngentoni?
Uthi kaloku kukhala i-fire alarm kwi-building, so funeke bahambise baqhuba abantu kwi-building.
Umntana uyakhala wena. Umntana uyakhala.
Bendingekaqali. Sesiqalile sesiku-10, sesiku-10.3.
Yo. Oh, nama ngizotshaba wona shame.
Dumpy.
Uhlek wena.
Dumpy.
Okay, Ntase. Okay, ke sure. Nkosi. Okay. Yabona ngoba sendicinile lapho ndithetha izinto. Ngiyaphunya ebuildingini. Okay man, ke umuntu ohlale kancinci. Ayibi late ndizongena. Ey. Ayibona abafana banandifakela ifoni yami client, khamba ndimbuze utesting. Akanayenza efonini yami lento.
Mnogilana sifuna uva bancokola ntoni please.
Yeah, ke icinga phela lento nje.
Wenza amaqanda no fish bones. Asifuna uva izo nto.
Yena nto yena ngithini?
Udiwa ndilambe.
Andikwazi ukutya Themnkosi, umntana wami uvalekile. Mina nto ndilambileyo. Into enyaphi ke ndingabona itimani sedikwa amanyela iindaba zami. Ayivanga le ndithetha kuyo ndithi tshotsho kwaba ya.
Ivakele yonke lokuthetha.
Iphi indawo etimayo yongasedikwanga. Incinyaphi le nto. Tyhari.
Councillors, I just want to say thank you for your patience, and to inform you that we were all rushed out of the building. We will resume at 10 past because in 5 minutes time the load shedding will start, and I want to give everyone an opportunity to get their backup power going and also to make sure that the connections are 100% intact before we resume the meeting. So please bear with us. We apologize for the inconvenience, but it was done not as a test, but an actual evacuation. Thank you. Ek het nou sopas gesê Raas, dat daar was nie 'n toets nie, daar was 'n werklike evacuation gewees. So asseblief moet nou nie voornames maak nie, daar was 'n genuine dat ons uitgaan. Dankie.